time is here, Nintendo fans. Mario Kart 8's first DLC pack is finally released. As you all may well know, Nintendo doesn't often foray into the adventurous side of DLC, so this one for Mario Kart 8 is super exciting. Not only does it bring new courses, new characters, and all kinds of new fun to the series, but it's kind of a neat little dive for Nintendo. They're doing a lot of neat stuff, and I've played it, I've seen everything it has to offer, and here are some of my comments about the DLC if you're on one side of the fence to get it or not. Hopefully this will help you decide. Let us start off looking at the content that the first DLC pack brings. The biggest draw is easily the new characters you can play as, and at the forefront of them is Link from The Legend of Zelda. Playing it on day one, there were a ton of Links online. It is meme-worthy, you'll see it for a while, and for good reason. Link looks cool, he sounds fun, he plays like any other real character, but it's neat. It's neat to see that crossover action in the game. And that C word, crossover, we'll touch on later, but continuing with the characters, you have Cat Peach and Tanuki Mario. Not quite as impressive as Link, but they're still pretty fun to look at. I mean, Tanuki Mario has a little raccoon suit, and Cat Peach meows everywhere. DLC Pack 1 also offers brand new vehicles to use, and at the forefront again with Link is the Master Cycle. It's based on the Legend of Zelda series, and it looks like a roboticized motorcycle version of Link's horse Epona. It is actually really amazing, but when you come right down to it, it is just another neat looking motorcycle. I'm not the biggest motorcycle fan for the series, but I tried it out. It's pretty cool. The sole returning kart is the B Dasher, which originally came out in Mario Kart DS, and I believe it's in Mario Kart 7. It's just a standard go-kart, but for nostalgic fans, you'll like to have it in there. Tanuki Mario comes with a brand new Tanuki kart. Looks kind of like a bigger Jeep sort of style, but it has that brown Tanuki suit color to it with a leaf in the middle. Lastly, and easily the best addition besides maybe the Master Cycle, is the Blue Falcon from F-Zero. Maybe this is the closest Nintendo's going to give us for another F-Zero game, but hey, I'll take it. It looks pretty sweet in this game too. Overall, the addition of these characters isn't really making the game much different, it's just a different aesthetic to play as. The real content for this comes from the new cups and racetracks you can use. There are two new cups in DLC Pack 1. The Egg Cup, which contains a remake of Double Dash's Yoshi Circuit, a brand new racetrack called Dragon Driftway, as well as two of the more exciting additions, the Excitebike Arena and Mute City, based on the F-Zero franchise. The other cup is the aptly named Triforce Cup, obviously in honor of Link and The Legend of Zelda. In this cup, there are two remade levels, Wario's Gold Mine from Mario Kart Wii, and the SNES version of Rainbow Road. Also included is another brand new level, Ice Ice Outpost, and Hyrule Circuit, which is based on the Legend of Zelda franchise. Having played on them all, I'll break each of them down one by one. Yoshi Circuit is a favorite for many players of the series, but for me, it was not one of my favorite levels. I actually really hated it. I like that it looks like Yoshi, but that's the only cool thing. This is, however, a faithful adaptation of that old track, so if you like the Double Dash game and that track, you'll be pleased to see it here in Mario Kart 8. I didn't see too many additions while playing the game. There's not any super anti-grav areas or new ramps. It all looks kind of similar, and it runs really fast, so I was racing and kind of noticing that my turns were a little bit off. But maybe it was just practice, or if I actually liked the level, it would be better. Dragon Driftway is easily the most exciting new, not based on any other existing franchise track for the DLC pack. It is the most detailed and pleasing new level. It's fun to look at, and it's a blast to race on. All the ways you twist around that dragon, it reminds me of Goku's adventures on Snake Way and Dragon Ball Z, but it has this sort of Mushroom Kingdom / Asian feel to it. Really neat, and it's a fun racetrack. It's one that I can imagine a lot of online players choosing when you have that random pick of the levels. One of the levels I was most excited about was Excitebike Arena, and it really doesn't disappoint. It's reminiscent of the oval design of Baby Park from Double Dash again, but in this one you are actually racing on the old Excitebike level. There are hills and ramps and even mud traps in the exact locations that you would think of in the 4 lanes of Excitebike, but with the Mario Kart twist. So you have items, you can jump, you get boosts, you can drift. It makes me wish Nintendo would do more DLC like this with this crossover in mind, which lends itself perfectly to Mute City from F-Zero. Maybe Nintendo's teasing us with this F-Zero track, and hinting at a possible F-Zero remake on the Wii U, because that would be pretty amazing. Mario Kart lends itself really well, but I want to see Captain Falcon jump in this track as a brand new F-Zero game, and hopefully that'll take off as well. Interesting thing about Mute City. When you're racing in here, you'll notice that there's actually still the booster pads that are used in the actual F-Zero game. In F-Zero, if you're on those, you fill your boost up, which you can use later in the race, but in Mario Kart 8, it's actually going to increase your coins until you get all 10 coins. Pretty neat addition that Nintendo added there. It's a nice touch, and it's something that I'm sure competitive racers will use later on. Over in the Triforce Cup, we have Wario's Gold Mine, which is a remake of the level from the Wii version. Now, strangely enough, Mario Kart Wii is the only game in the series that I do not have, but I've played it before, and one of the only levels that stood out was Wario's Gold Mine. It's just as wacky here, and it's just as fall-off friendly as you would imagine, but it was fun. Playing it online with a lot of players made it a real blast. The new level Ice Ice Outpost is easily the worst of the mix here for all 8 new tracks. It just doesn't have as much personality as the rest, and it feels very bland. There is sort of 2-tiered tracks you can go on, a green side and a yellow side, but neither of them offer a lot of versatility and they're not very fun. Kind of a letdown. They didn't really do a lot more with this one. I mean, it's an okay race overall, but with every other track here, a much better choice. This one easily falls to the bottom. Link's level in Hyrule Circuit is one of the best in the whole DLC pack. That's because of the attention to detail. So you'll notice that all the gold coins are replaced with rupees. Most of the sound effects are replaced with Zelda-themed sound effects. It's just a huge track, and there's lots of references to the Zelda series. I mean, you're in Zelda's castle, you can see the logos, you jump through the Master Sword at certain points. It's a real homage to that whole franchise. And last but not least is the SNES version of Rainbow Road. This one I was not excited for at all, but it blew my mind playing it here. This is one of the best tracks in the entire DLC pack. Nintendo did a good job touching it up for the Wii U version. There are some weird wonky actions with the thwomps that mess up the track itself. It runs very smoothly, it's a drifter's dream, and you can really feel smooth drifting through that whole track. It's a real blast, and it'll be a fun one, and it does bring the Rainbow Road total to 3 for the game itself. That actually rounds up all the content you get for a DLC pack, and now rounds up is a loose term because that's actually quite a lot. 8 new tracks that are all really good, sans one okay one, is a great deal any way you slice it. 3 new characters are fun to play as, they don't offer much diversity, and then the 4 new vehicles are also pretty cool, but again, not a huge change to the gameplay. What you're really looking at here are the tracks. Nintendo's doing a good job of giving fans what they want. There's a lot of neat circuits here, neat racetracks that are based on other franchises, and this crossover is really the allure to the whole DLC pack. If you like The Legend of Zelda, or if you like, well, pretty much any other Nintendo racing game, you have them all in this one pack, and it's a blast to go through and play again. The imagination behind some of them, like Dragon Driftway and how it weaves itself in and out of the course, and then the reimaginings of old Nintendo franchises, especially Excitebike, which you were just not expecting in Mario Kart, make this a really fun game. And there is one more DLC pack coming in May of next year that is a ways away, but with all this content plus the excessive and excellent amount of content in Mario Kart 8 already, it should keep you plenty busy until you're ready for that next pack to drop. Overall, as one of Nintendo's first forays into DLC, Mario Kart 8's first pack is astounding. If they can keep this degree of excellence up for the future, Nintendo could be the new way to go for all DLC packs. But right now, I'm going to play more, and I'm actually really excited to see if they're going to give me a new F-Zero, maybe E3 2015. New Excitebike would be right around the corner, that'd be pretty cool. And I'm holding out for a Star Fox themed level in the next pack.